Welcome to the second video training. This video talks about the well part of retiring on Social Security. It is possible to enjoy our retirement on just our Social Security. We just have to learn how. I mentioned at the end of the first video that the only way I could get out of my depression was to learn a great deal about how to feel good about myself and my life, no matter what was going on around me. So this video talks about how anybody can make real changes to their life. I also talk about how to be independent, because that's the first thing we need in order to live a good life. I talk about how to take charge of your happiness so you can be genuinely happy anytime you want. I talk about how to be truly confident and increase your self-esteem, how to find your life purpose, and how to avoid the psychological problems most people run into when they retire. And I talk about the most powerful and least understood factor in whether you'll have a happy life, that we all chase after without realizing it. And I talk about how to improve it so you'll automatically create a wonderful retirement without even trying. So let's get started. When you hear somebody talk about managing your emotions, it just means staying positive and happy. It's important to stay positive and happy as much as we can because we're smarter, we're more creative, we're better at recognizing opportunities, and most of all, we have more fun. The way to stay positive and happy is to control our thoughts because our thoughts create our feelings and emotions. It's not hard to take control of your thoughts if you know how. The first thing to do is start looking at the positive side of things. Everything has both positive and negative aspects to it. Looking at the positive aspects is absolutely crucial to having a good life and a good retirement. One of my goals is that by the end of this course, you'll have realized that once you've got the basics of life covered, food, shelter, and safety, your attitude towards life is the most important thing you have. But it doesn't just happen. We have to remind ourselves to be happy and positive every day. When some people look at a situation, they see only the negatives. That's not the way to have a good retirement. It's impossible to be happy if we're constantly filling our minds with pessimistic thoughts. We need to make a choice every morning when we get up to focus on the good things in our life and remember that choice throughout the day. Some people say focusing on the positive side of things is not being realistic. Of course they would say that, because they're negative. They believe life is negative. But us positive people could just as easily say being negative is not being realistic. Negative people don't understand that each person creates their own reality to some extent. We all live partially in our own world based on our beliefs. If you believe the world is bad, you'll be unconsciously looking for things that are bad, and you'll find them. If you believe the world is good, you'll be unconsciously looking for things that are good, and you'll find them. The world is both good and bad. It's up to us what we focus on. Take the old example of the glass half full of water. Positive people don't pretend it's full. When you focus on the positives, you still know the negatives are there. You just don't pay them as much attention. Positive people just naturally start thinking about all the good things they can do with that half glass of water. But when you're focusing on what you don't have, all you think about is what you can't do. Focusing on the positive opens up opportunities that negative people never see. I notice that when I'm unhappy about one thing in my life, it makes me a little unhappier about everything in my life. In the same way, if I'm happy about something, I'm happier about everything, and my whole life seems better. So I try to focus on the things I'm happy about. If you can take this one simple skill and bring it into your everyday life, your life will start improving immediately. I'm not saying you won't have problems. Everybody has problems, but you'll be better at solving them, so your life will start to get easier. Before you know it, you'll be happier than you've ever been before. Take it from someone who spent many years where every day was filled with sadness and self-abuse, and now lives the kind of life he never dreamed possible. Focusing on the positive side of things is one of the most powerful skills you can use to have a good retirement.